Hello InfoSec community, welcome to our new series, Kolide and OSQuery. In this session, we are going to deep dive in Kolide and OSQuery, how to install Kolide launcher and install OSQuery daemon and run it using the same fleet console. There has been lot of issues in our past scenarios where we have been experiencing issues installing the osquery daemon and specifically talk with the Kolide launcher. So we are going to solve it in this current demo. The full demo has been given in AWS console. We have taken two AWS instances. One is Kolide and one is osquery launcher. osquery daemon has been installed in a separate session, separate instance.
We can see this is the Kolide console from GitHub page. So we are going to install it. So basically we have set up two EC2 instances in our Amazon web service AWS, and we are going to install these two pages and these two systems in our AWS console. So as you can see, this is the GitHub page and this is the dashboard, how it actually looks like when you have completed the installation and you have completed the connection between the Fleet console and the osquery endpoints. Okay, and we can see the live queries as well. So we will be doing this installation. So we have our workstation, which we call forensic workstation, and we will be logging from this workstation, shift workstation, to our AWS console. Okay, so this is our first AWS console. It is an Ubuntu system, as you can see. So if you do pwd, we are in home in Ubuntu. So we have extracted the commands that is particularly required for this installation, for this complete demo, right? So if you need any further information regarding the security groups configuration or other related to AWS stuffs before going to that installation, you can give us in the comment section and we will be happy to help you, right? So first up, we will be doing an update. So that is what we can say, um, it's general fashion to do for all the kind of situation, right? So it's not taking, so we will sudo our access. Let's see, hope it works. Okay, it's working. And one plus point for doing in AWS is that it's super fast, so you can have a super fast speed of the installation, right? So we'll clear up and we will go to the installation start page. So we are taking this installation file from GitHub page itself. We'll be doing a wget. As you can see, it's quite fast. It's taking. So if we are doing it locally, depending on our internet speed, it might lag, but here there is no scope of lagging. Pretty simple. So it's installed now, and you can see if you do fleet zip. So we are expecting that unzip won't be installed here, so we can do a installation. um, Sudo apt get install. Right, so it's installing the unzip because we need to unzip this fleet zip. So that is required step. So let's see, it's done. We'll clear up the page, we'll go to the next one and we will unzip it and we'll store it into a Linux disin folder. So that's basically doing its Linux distribution, whatever we are seeing. So it's inflating the every file under that zip hook, right? So now if we do a ls-l, you can see fleet has been deflated, right? So it's been extracted now. So our next step, we will do this simple to copy, and we will create two folder from where our fleet server and its service will be running. So user bin fleet and another one is fleetctl. So we need to remember that this fleetctl is the service name, basically where it's actually runs, right? So sorry for the screen, we are recording here. So right, so we are done. So next thing is the step for installing the MySQL server, because it requires two database for installation. One is MySQL and we'll be installing the Redis as well. So we are not doing anything specific or anything uh, we can say different what we have mentioned, what was mentioned actually in their Git page. So I am giving this password as tour. So it is recommended for giving any different password, but you need to remember that while giving that particular password everywhere in the configuration file at the later stage, right? Yeah. So it's taking, it might take quite like a minute. Oh, it's done already. So we'll clear up that page and we will see if MySQL is running on it or not. So we will write down this command, yes aux, and we'll try to grep and see if MySQL service is running, and you can see it's MySQL running under the Ubuntu username, right? If it is not running, so you won't see anything in the first line. So that means MySQL is already up and running. So we'll go to the next step. We will create a database, right? So that database is the Kolide database we will be creating. So password, remember it's the same password for creation of the database. We have given it's a tour, TOOR. You can give it, you can give it anything else. Next step, we are installing a Redis server. Let's go. Okay, we're doing it. Okay, it's now, I think it's installed. So now we will be running this Redis server as a background process. Okay, right. So that is the reason we are mentioning this ampersand size at the end. So it is running now. So http redis.io, it has been taken. So it will be running in the background, right? So we'll just skip it, just pressing a simple enter button. So this technique is going to be our life savior, because we will discuss that in the latter section, but just want to mention that if you are installing um, this particular server like Fleet or Kolide, you need to run that particular service as a daemon process. So you can use it as a systemd process, or you can use a simple no-hub process and mention it at the end by mentioning this ampersand for the background process. Okay, so now for creation of the sample db, so we will be simply copy pasting this whole command here, and if this command gets successful, definitely what we are expecting it will be, we will be seeing a migration complete command. Let's hope so it works. Let's give it some time. Yep, so migration get completed. That means our database what we have run using the Kolide database, it's now up. Okay, so we will be now doing a certification creation process. So this certification creation process is very important. So because this is a proper authentication process that will be happening when our fleet server is up and running, right? So we are in home.ubuntu. So as per the GitHub page, it is taking us to the temp, but we will not be doing it under temp. We will be simply doing it here only. So we will mention home, then Ubuntu, then server key. That's the reason, because we don't want to lose the server key if the server gets rebooted, right? So we will be storing the server key inside our folder only. Okay, so next step is request of the new key. So we'll copy it and we will paste it, but again we will change this path. So just remember, wherever you are storing this particular key and the particular server certificate file, you need to incorporate that inside your configuration file. Home, Ubuntu, server, this one, right? Okay. Now we will be asked of this kind of following set of queries. So that is a fashion of creation of OpenSQL or OpenSSL certificate process. It's better if you want to create a certificate authority signed certification or something later which is having a root certificate. You can create that. You can ask your organization to provide you a valid certificate and you can run that. So country code, for the time of the sake of interest, we will mention as a U, full name of the state. So we'll be mentioning as test, because we are not creating anything specific, right? We are just creating for sake of the installation. And we so but remember that when you are doing this and your production system or anything like that, you need to create a specific certificate where this information is actually being stored, proper configuration names and proper information. So uh, we can give this one, we can give it the organization name as Black Pearl, same Pearl common name. No, now this is a remembering process. Your FQDUM needs to match the certificate name, so otherwise your certification validation will fail. So they have mentioned this in the Kolide about page and the help section as well, but just to remember in case if you need. So as of now, this is a test environment and we are not going to actually checking this certificate. We will not be doing the check of the certificate at the latter point of time. So that is the reason I have mentioned is fleet. Otherwise you need to mention the full FQDUN name on which address your fleet server will be running. So email address we will be giving, so we are not having the email address as of now, so we can give as abc at the rate blackpearl.com. So extra attribute, so nothing, company name. So this is done now. So we are one step only remaining for creation of the certificate. So let's do that and it will be done. Okay, okay, so again we need to change this path. Remember, home, Ubuntu, and this thing as well. Home, Ubuntu, server key, and this thing as well. Home, Ubuntu, server set, right? Okay, so our signature is done. So if you do a ls minus l, now you see 3 new file has been created. So 2 was there already and 3 new file has been created. So we'll clear up the page. Now the main thing begins. What is the installation? So yeah, so we need to remember one thing. So this is command. This command is actually required for running our fleet server. So as of now, For the first installation, we will be running it as it is, but remember to change this particular oops uh, change this yeah, do I change it now? Okay, so we'll get a error right away, um, because there is a one so there is two error basically there are. So one thing is that our path, certificate path, key path, and there is a code that will be generated once you run this particular command, this serve command first time. So that error will come first, right? Yeah, so a value must be supplied for auth key for the JWT token. So you need to copy this token and you need to plug that same key once again. So we are doing that same, and this time um, we will be changing that particular path of the server key and the key. Okay, so what is it called? So minus 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 auth jwt key equals to, we will simply paste it and we will be going to the path location. So where is our path location? It is inside home ubuntu server key, right? And here as well is our inside home slash ubuntu slash server cert. So everything seems to be all right. Now we need to run it and let's hope for the best. Yeah, so it's listening now on the port and we believe it is up and running. So how to check that? So we will be just needing, or we can say we'll just need to browse that particular page in our browser. So let's see how to do that. Okay, so what we actually did, we went to our browser and we just pasted this particular address. So just remember, this is our external IP address of the AWS console. So the basically what is happening, this is the public IP address of our instance. And since we are running this fleet server on 8080 port, we are mentioning as a explicit way. So we will go to advanced, because it is saying us this warning because our certificate is not trusted. So for the time being, we are going to accept that risk. Right? So this is the first time how the Kolide server looks like. It's a registration page, and we are registering using our channel name. So password. So the password also, we can give some other password as well. So um, there is that requirement is required. So give a particular inclined password. So we will give a good password. Okay, let's see. Okay, we'll confirm that password. Email address we don't want, so we'll say submit. Oh, okay. Email must be present. So that is required when you forgot your password or something related to that, right? So um, okay, so for the time being, we will be using our demo email address. platform.com. Submit and submit. Black Pearl organization logo is not required. I will submit, and remember, this is the web address page, so you need to mention that page uh, till the page ends. So if your page is not running on 8080, so you need to mention that, but remember, don't mention anything else. So where the first slash comes, it ends there, so just remember that. So we'll go submit, so you can see our black pearl and our colloid is now finished. Yep, it's interesting, right? Now what actually we are seeing here, we do not have any host, right? So we need to um, install new host right now. And how we can do that? So installing new host means you need to install osquery on host, and that osquery host should talk with our fleet server. So we have been doing this research and development phase for different kind of situation, and we have received several kind of errors, and there was no proper answer for doing that. So we will be doing that demo, how to register your osquery particular this agent, and you can talk with that. Okay, so we will go to our command prompt, and you can see this is running, this is all running right now. Since this is not a no-hop process, or this is not running in the background, so you will be seeing these logs coming up here, right? So for the time being, we'll kill this one, and if we kill it, so you can see, if you refresh it, it will not run this time because our process is not running now. So we will be running the same process, but we will use the no hop this time, right? So this is the process of or you can do the systemd as well. So I believe as of now we'll not be showing how to do it with the systemd, but we can definitely do it with the no hop. So let's see. um, we'll mention back at and we'll mention it as a no hop. Hope this runs. Okay, so no hop output is getting stored now, right? So let's see if our server is up and running. Yep, so it is again running. So and if you want to see that, you need to simply use the jobs. So there are two things running. You remember that ready server we given as a backend process, and no hub we ran just now, right? So if you need to kill anything, you need to find out its um, particular process ID, or you can simply kill the no hub process. That's all, right? So for the time being, first we will install the osquery agent into the same machine, right? So let's see how we can do that. Okay, so what actually we are going to do, if you are here in, if you see, we are here. So osquery, there is osquery I, there is a page which is called gives osquery I. So this particular page is the official page of osquery. So if you go to that downloads, you can come here and you can just download this rpm package, right? So this rpm package will be installed in our machine, so we are going to do that just right now. So we'll simply copy this particular path what is coming showing up, and we will do a duplicate. Okay, since this is a rpm package, so we will install it directly from here. Okay, so let's go to our console. We will do a clear and we will do a paste. Okay, let's see. Oops, what end? Okay, rpm command not found, so we need to I believe install that rpm. Let's see, let's do that. Sudo apt get rpm. Oops, sorry, sudo apt get install rpm. So it's installing now. So why it's installing? We will wait for some time to get it installed. Okay, let's wait for some time. Okay, now I believe it's installed now. We do a clear and we will run it. Okay, okay, so it is retrieving the package. So oh, what is the error? Is it there is a failed dependencies? Okay, then sh is needed by osquery. So we will do a troubleshoot on that and we will come up with the uh, video update. Okay, so we are logged in to our operating system in the EC2 instance what is in Amazon. So this is not the same operating system where we were running that Fleet server. So it's a different operating system. It's a CentOS operating system. So this is just for the illustration that we are not installing that osquery same agent into that same box where we are running the Fleet server. So what actually we did, we follow that particular same sudo rpm thing. So it is installed. So it will just install that particular what we can say osquery daemon into our machine. So um, now you can see it's installed. So this message is giving because I have already installed it just before this demo. So how you can see that osquery is installed, so we can run this osquery I. So this is the interactive shell of osquery. So if we run it, so uh, I believe it will be running. So let's see. I think I just did something wrong. It's very high. It should run actually. Um, let's see. Um, okay, it was running just sometimes big. So maybe we are running something unusual. So let's see. We will do that troubleshoot a little bit, and we will be back shortly. Okay, so we are back. So we didn't do anything much, so we have just rebooted that particular instance. If you see, we have supplied a reboot command and our connection is closed now and we didn't do anything. So if we just want to verify if osquery is running, so we just need to supply this osquery I command. um, so okay, let's see, it's not running. Again, it's creating some kind of problem. Maybe there is some kind of issue in the backend. So what we'll do, we will um, supply the reboot command once again and let's then see if it runs properly or not. So meanwhile we will do one thing. So what actually we need here, so when we are installing and we are after the installation properly, we need this particular token, reveal secret. So what actually it does, the way osquery daemon will know that you need to authenticate osquery with this particular Fleet server. That is required for that particular secret token. That is the reason we will just click here at the new host, and we will just reveal that particular secret. So this secret is required very much when we need to we need to basically install our osquery daemon, and that we need to run on this particular page, right? So what we will do, there is a command uh, with the enroll secret, you can see. So this is our old secret, so we need to just replace it. uh, okay, so we will just paste it here. Oops, this is not the thing. We'll just paste it here, and this host name also need change, right? So and remember this, we are not having a root certificate, so we will be forcing um, insecure tag. So that means that certification validation will skip for the time being, and we will end up communicating that particular communication with that server to our endpoint, that will go with that osquery certificate that is originated and that has been incorporated in the fleet server. So the connection is secured, um, but it is not just that case, it is not getting validated using that particular certificate. So okay, so let's get back to our console and let's see if it's up and running. Okay, so it's up. uh, so we'll supply osquery command again. So it's osquery running. So what we can see, we can just try a sample command. Select start from user. Okay, so there is, I believe it's users, right? So this is the sample table. So if you need more information how to run osquery, how to do more incident response using osquery, please subscribe our channel, and we will be following up with different sets and tools and techniques of using osquery and its different kind of stages, right? Okay, so we will skip this thing as of now. And what actually we need, so there is a osquery launcher, so that we need to uh, install, that we need to get from github page. So we will be just doing that. We'll use the wget command and we'll do that. Okay, so yeah, so it's retrieving now. So osquery zip launcher is a thing which actually launches the osquery daemon for us. And if you are using any kind of configuration file within that particular launcher, it will communicate automatically, so you do not need to do any kind of mess up with that particular setup file. So it's already pre-built, but if you want to build up your own launcher file, what actually we are also doing in our production system, uh, so you can do that. So let's wait for some seconds while it finishes the download, and we'll be doing the next phase. Okay, so it's saved now. If we do ls minus l, so you can see launcher is now zipped here. So we will be doing that same, we'll be running that same kind of that unzip command here what we done initially. So we'll simply unzip that particular file here. Unzip launcher. Okay, so it's inflating in a lot of file, right? If you can see, it's inflating. So if you do ls minus l, you will see there are a lot of files, right? So we are targeting this Linux because it's a CentOS. um, so we will be running that same command using that Linux. So remember, this is our Linux folder, and we just need to change this host name, right? So we will cut that host name from our AWS console and we will be back. Okay, so we are back. Okay, so we have taken that IP address from our AWS console, and we will be simply copy pasting this particular command from this tab to our tab. Okay, but before doing that, we will need to make a temporary directory on which uh, osquery will be saving that files. OSQ, we name it as osq. So ls -l, so there is a file created as osq, sorry, the folder created as osq. Now we will do the copy paste. So just root directory, we need to change that to particular file name. So what is our particular file name? Oops, we also do not know that. So before doing anything, we do a pwd, so it's only root. Okay, so we'll be again pasting that command. um, okay, and inside root, our osq directory is there and everything is done. Linux is also there, launcher will be there inside that. We're enrolling the secret from our file and we'll hit enter. Okay, so we can see there are a lot of things is happening. Now let's see and let's go back to our console and we are up. So we can see that this particular machine is up and running. So this is the we can say this is the IP address and this is the DNS name of that machine. This is the local IP address. This is the CentOS. This is the version. This is the IP address of that particular machine. This is a local IP address, by the way, for that particular machine, right? And if you want to do any kind of search or any kind of query, that you remember that we ran from that instance. So let's see, so we ran select star from users, right? So we can do that same using our query tab. So we will come here and we need to create a new query. So we will create a new query from users. Okay, it will give us that name and um, target. So we need to select the target. So as of now we have only one target, so we can select that one and we can run that query. So it will take like couple of seconds of time and it will give that particular result in this particular window itself. So you can see, right? So this is the users and this is the what exactly the same users that we have observed in our uh, CMD, in our CLI console as well. We can export that and we can do other, we can run other queries as well. So but remember what queries you will be running, that query or that table needs to present in a Linux box. So mm, if you go back to the host, so it is up and running, and if you go back to our console you can see there are some other queries has been executed, right? So you can see executing query, this is all, this is running, blah blah blah. So the best way to run is as a no hop process. So you can select, you can see that select particular query is also running. So select star from users, it ran just now. So now if you kill that particular process, so we kill it because we cannot run this on in front of our window, right? So if you see, uh, if you give a couple of maybe a 1 minute time, so I believe that particular signals what the heartbeat goes in 1 minute. So if we wait for 1 minute, this machine will be out of sync. So we'll just refresh that page, it's still online, but in 1 minute of window we can see this green signal will become red and it will be gone. So see, it become red. So now we cannot communicate with this particular host. So again, if we want to communicate, we need to run that again daemon process in that similar way. But let's clear that. But if we try to do or we can run that similar thing again using uh, backup process and the no hub. So let's see. Um, there is some reason, or there might be some scenario this no hub gets into a error, because this particular host, you can see that we killed that particular process, right? So query d process, we killed it already. But at times you can also see this is somewhere running. So it's better you do a ps aux and you find out if that is running or not. So do a grep query d. So root query d. So there is nothing running. So this is just the symbol that we give to the console to find out that. So we can do that no hub process. Let's see. This no hub launcher and boom. So yeah, so it's done. So let's refresh. Yeah, so again it's up, right? So it's quite simple. So um, we believe this is a good information. So if you want to include, or if you want to incorporate more machines, you can do that as well, right?
So we discussed and given the live demo for Kolide and shown how to register an endpoint running osquery on it, and also shown how to run a query from Kolide. Hope this info has been informative to you. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, please don't forget to subscribe and like, comment, share. See you next time.